you've got to plan enough for inflation and all of the unforeseen things that may come up that you just don't know when you're a young person. And let me say one last thing before I end this video. If you're young and you have little ones running around, I want you to take a look at them today and understand that they are not your retirement plan. And they deserve to go off in life and plan their own lives. And when you retire, they should still be enjoying their life and you enjoy yours. So sock it away now while you're young. Put it away. They're not your retirement plan.
Let's face it, fam, there are way too many single mothers out there who divorce their husbands to find themselves on the carousel that end up burning through that temporary child support / alimony payout, and where they can't get a beta imp chump to pay full price for their roast beef, they deploy Plan B, guilt trip their children into bailing them out of their own bad decisions. And before any of you ladies don't want to tear about some men are the same, well, according to a report by the National Women's Law Center, link in the description, only 47% of the women participating in the labor force in the U.S. have retirement plans. Let's not pretend the ever so hard-charging unemployed divorced single mothers who live off their ex-husband's child support and alimony have a healthy 401k going. They're too busy spending that money between their kids and the new Chad unemployed boyfriend. You remember that guy, right, ladies? The guy that is your new soulmate you chose over the man you divorced. Oh, I guess that thunderschlong meat didn't stick around to take care of you once the money flow dried up. Before we move on, I want to bring attention to the fact that 79% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
Okay, so I remember I had this genius idea that I was going to do like a reverse retirement. I wanted to stop working now, enjoy myself, see the world, travel while I'm young, fit, healthy, and all the rest of it. And everyone was like, yeah, that's amazing, do it. If you can afford to, why not? Yeah, I can't afford to. And I now don't have a job. So there's that. But you know what? I'm just live, laugh, loving it, because I've been away for 2 weeks traveling. I'm doing another 2 weeks again, starting from Monday. Then I am going to go back to the UK, unless I can find a reason not to, or a way not to. I don't know. But yeah, I need to keep this going. Does anybody have any suggestions as how I can just not go back to reality? Because I think reality is so overrated, you know? I prefer the Delulu life, if I'm being honest with you. I just want to travel. I want to enjoy myself. I want to see the world. Is that so bad? I'm happy to work eventually. When I'm ready to settle down with my house by the beach with the dogs, then I'll get a job. So in theory, I could just pay back all the debt I rack up now. I don't know how smart that is. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll see.
The saddest part of this entire video is, even if it's satire, it's based on the reality of the bulk of Western women.
Pathetic.
The plan being, there is no plan. I mean, modern Western queens use the all-important feels when it comes to financial planning, and getting those cute pair of flats for when they go on their next extravagant vacation is far more important than financial planning for the future. I mean, they can just charge it to their credit cards and kind of pay it back later. And if you think these women become financially wiser with age, why should they? When somehow they're going to meet a rich, handsome man who is going to take care of them. I mean, just like the queen in this video, she isn't going to settle because she deserves to have better. As in, all the travels she wants, she deserves to have them now. I've said this before, and I'm going to repeat it for my younger viewers. If you have decided you are going to put a ring on it, you better launch an investigation on your future wife-to-be, because you don't just end up marrying her, you are also going to marry her debts. Till bankruptcy do you part. One of the worst things that you can go through in life is coupling yourself with a financially irresponsible spouse. They are a bottomless hole that only know how to spend other people's money. Oh, and make credit card companies richer.
Yes, I am so sorry. You don't even know how sorry I am. I'm just being honest.
Moving on.
I used to be a trad wife, and now I'm a single mom. It all started back when I was a teen mom. I was 19 years old when I got pregnant. I was not married. When our daughter was like a week old, We just eloped at the courthouse and made it signed, sealed, and delivered. We were married. I was married to a military man, and my job was to be a wife and a mom. I wasn't supposed to have any time or any thoughts about doing anything other than being a wife and a mom. I love my kids very dearly, and I do not regret my decisions to have them. I do regret my decision to pick the partner that I picked to be their dad and to be my ex-husband. I had very low self-worth and self-esteem and thought that I was only good at being a wife and a mom because that's what I was shown growing up. It wasn't until we were teenagers that my mom ever started going to college. When she got married, she didn't have a college degree. She was in the military and she did her 4 years in the Air Force, and my dad was a career military man, and my mom just married him and became a trad wife. And don't get me wrong, trad wife life comes with perks. I think it's best when you pick the right partner. I've seen a video talking about stitch this and tell me why marriage is hard.
Mama say that happiness is from magic rays of sunshine that come down when you're feeling blue.
Oh, we covered a shorter video from this queen in a previous audit, and I told all of you then the longer version of her story gets worse, as in a downward spiral. Let's take this piece by piece because damn, this is a doozy. Okay, she chose to be a mom and regretted the man she chose as the father of her children. At least she admitted there it was her choice. That's a start. She became a military spouse and was not allowed to be anything other than a stay-at-home mom. Allow me to translate that part from womanese. Ahem. My husband joined the military and I became a dependopotamus. Once I lived inside military housing and realized how the military sets it up for a dependopotamus to remain a stay-at-home mom, I decided to cruise it, and then later on, I could blame everything on my military spouse, assuming I don't take the bulk of the accountability. Now, it was evident even when she tried to throw some of the blame on her mom, because her mom became a traditional wife after she left military service, and somehow that directly influenced her own personal choice. Listen, I'm not saying that each and every traditional marriage is a 5-star success. What I am saying is, if you accepted the role of being a traditional wife, that means you accepted everything, to include the good with the bad. But more importantly, it still is an individual choice, regardless of your fifis after it didn't work out. Let me paint it a different way. Let's say, I don't know, married women in the US started putting in for the bulk of all divorces. Well, their husbands can make videos all day saying how much of a victim they are, but it doesn't take away the fact that the family court system is going to bend the husband's finances over and violate them for years, because no one forced those men to get married.
Show of hands for everybody who knew. Bingo.
Marriage is only hard when you pick the wrong partner. My ex-husband would make fun of my weight. He would make fun of the little gap I have in between my 2 front teeth right here. Basically anything he could find to make fun of, he would make fun of it. But he would try to play it off as if it was just him being sarcastic and that we should make fun of each other. And don't get me wrong, I know there's couples out there like that, and that is the way they show their love, and I am not passing any judgment on how anybody else lives their life. I just know for me, coming from a house where we never did that, it really sent me into, like, I would say emotional distress. I wanted to laugh all of the things off, but deep down inside, I knew all of the jokes were true, and that he was basically just making fun of me our entire marriage. Of course, at the time, I probably didn't realize all of that until I was out of the marriage. I love my kids very, very, very much, and I do not regret my decision to have them. I love them so much. But picking the wrong partner did a number to me, even post-divorce. I was tormented for years post-divorce. My ex was so controlling to the fact that he wanted to try to control my sex life after divorce, after many years of divorce.
Marriage is only difficult if you pick the wrong partner. Really? So if you pick the right partner, every day is a frickin' holiday? Sorry there, sister, but that's some Delulu verbiage coming out of your pie hole. Marriage is hard work. Talk to those old school couples who have been married for 40 plus years, and they will tell you there were times they thought about calling it off, but then they decided to work it out. And notice how the worst things she has to complain about is how her husband cracked jokes at her expense. Damn there, Colleen. What did you want him to be? Literal perfection?
And from Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
He, like anyone else, is going to make mistakes, but considering you have to point out the gap between your front fangs as one of your biggest gripes, kind of tells everyone watching your video how much of an insecure crybaby you really are. I bet she would categorize that as a form of emotional abuse. I actually find it hilarious. The claim of emotional abuse from their ex-husbands comes from the champions of nagging, which I consider emotional torment.
Now that's a lot of damage!
And her line of her ex-husband wanting to control her sexual life even after her divorce is sus AF. Okay, maybe this gorilla is reading too much into that, but usually, although not always, an ex-spouse only attempts to control who you let into your sheets when you are still sleeping with them. Not judging, just pointing out a possibility. Ladies, let me be honest. The more this single mom reveals about her former marriage, the worse she is actually looking. Kind of like a kid who claims they didn't eat all the donuts while their face is covered with powdered sugar.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
And he was already married and had a kid with his now wife, who was his wife back then also. Anyway, all of this to say is pick smart when you are picking the father of your children, the mother of your children, and you are picking a partner for life. Do not take that very lightly. That is one of the most important decisions you will make in your entire life. Next to what toppings you want for your Chipotle bowl. Also, it's very important to have the hard conversations in an early relationship and in an early marriage, that if your partner is doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that you bring it up and you have the guts to have the hard conversations. That is one thing I definitely messed up in my relationship, is that I let my husband at the time make all the decisions. I basically had no voice. I don't even know if I would have been able to speak up, because after we were divorced, when the kids went to go live with him, because my kids went to go live with him and I paid him child support, I would say I had no say-so on how my kids were raised. I learned that very quickly, that my voice and my opinions on my girls did not matter, and that I should just fall in line with anything he says to do.
Why state that her ex-husband was already married with kids when he was trying to control her bedroom fun? Okay, I'm just a dumb gorilla, but even I can tell when something doesn't quite line up as completely one-sided. Also, the kids went off to live with him. I'm going to assume this was because he was probably still on active duty, living inside military housing, and the kids were more than likely attending a public school inside of the military installation. One thing those dependopotamuses learned the hard way is when they divorce their husbands, they are also divorcing the military. And the military has zero difficulty ejecting a dependopotamus from the herd, i.e., you get kicked off the military facility once you no longer are authorized to be there. And let's not pretend this post-war queen would have been the winning choice for the kids. No offense there, sweetheart, but it sure sounds like you are a bad decision maker. Or at least you are the worst decision maker between you and your ex-husband. And considering she didn't claim her ex-husband put in for the divorce or was abusive against her, chances are she put in for the divorce to go find herself. Again, ladies, here is another example as to why your all-important feels should not be the basis of making important decisions. I mean, this queen actually made a video of warning women to not select the wrong type of guy, while at the same time showing she was actually the one nobody chose to be with, neither by her ex-husband or her kids. Yeah, listening to her advice is like taking dieting advice from Lizzo.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.